Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Babyface P. Today, finally, with all the hoopla going on about the Colt Python, figured why not talk about the Python, and specifically my Python, and what we're looking forward to, what I'm wondering about the new Python. Let's just do a general Python video. So I'll bring you in. You guys don't want to see my face. You guys want to see this. So I'll bring you in and show you what we got, do some shooting, have some fun. Let's do it. Alright, so here is my personal snake gun. Oop. This is my Colt Python from, I believe this one is from 1972. It is serial number, if somebody wants to look it up for me, E26594-4. There's a 4 underneath it. But this is my personal snake gun. Story about this one. Interesting story on this one. This one actually came from a fire. So I, being cheap and frugal, wanted to get myself a Python. Found one on Gunbroker that had been in a fire for probably about a third the price of what they go for, and it was a total piece of shit. So to me, I was thinking, and I'll roll in a picture of what it looked like. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy it. I'll just Cerakote it or something, so I have a Python. It's not going to be a fancy one or whatever. Then I realized I can't do that to a pristine firearm like this. And I decided to throw ungodly amounts of money at it and have it completely rehabbed. And that was done thanks to Ford's Custom in Crystal River, Florida. So this is now what it looks like. Obviously, it's beautiful. And this will never be, one thing to note, for a lot of the people out there, this will never be a collector's item. Grips are aftermarket. These are Altamont grips. Let's see, you'll see the connections here. Like, if you're a Python person, you'll notice a lot of flaws with this gun. But again, it was because I wanted to save a gun, not because I wanted a collector's piece. You see some TIG welds, and it's all right. It's my gun, that's all that matters. So, for anybody out there who wants to know, it shoots .357 Magnum, obviously. It's one of the most iconic revolvers ever made. It's hard to explain. It feels wonderful in the hand. You need to, if you don't own a revolver or you've never picked up a Python, go try to find one at a gun store or something. You need to feel it. It's got a lot of heft to it, which makes it very comfortable to shoot. It's built to be shot all day long, all day, every day. It's got a frame that is a lot heavier duty than some of the like 38 special frames that Colt was producing at the time. It was made to be a service grade .357 all day, full horsepower Magnum revolver. And it lives up to that wonderfully. The wonderful thing about these old Pythons, the originals, now I have to say the originals, now that Colt's coming out with new ones, couple things. And a couple things that Colt, I don't think, can do today with the new ones. Bluing on these things is impeccable. It's unbelievable. High polish, and I think they called it like their navy blue or presidential blue or something. And I believe it used and somebody can correct me, I thought it used some sort of cyanide salt to do the bluing, which is why they got rid of it. It's pretty caustic and toxic to people. But it gave you this amazing dark, deep blue. Everything on these guns was put together mostly by hand. So the gunsmiths back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, that era, 80s even, I think they had these coming out through the early 2000s from the custom shop. The gunsmiths took a lot of time in doing all this by hand polishing, hand fitting each internal part by hand. This is not one of those guns that you can just pick up parts for it, slap it on like a 1911. It doesn't work like that. Everything is very tightly hand fitted for these guns. And that's one of the things that I think Colt may be able to do all right in this new series of Python. We're gonna see. No mimmed parts, no crap like that on these guns. Everything is perfect and beautiful. The single action trigger is unbelievable. You barely touch it and it goes off. The double action is very, very smooth and light. Not a whole lot of staking to it. It's just a nice even pull. But we'll see. Let me do some shooting and then we'll talk about the new Python coming up. So let's load this up with, I bought a box of Fiocchi. Weird grain. This is 142 grain going 1,400 feet a second. I've never seen that. It's normally 158 or 125 or something like that. 110 maybe. So, load this up.
Can you call Lola and tell her I left my phone in there? She's gonna be
after you're done interrupting my video, I can.
Huh?
After you're done interrupting my video, I can do that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's put a couple rounds through this wonderful old girl, my 1970s Colt Python. Forgot to mention, this is I hope you guys can see it, Sam Andrews custom leather holster made from Python. Pretty awesome. So I think I'll leave it a link to his website. He's a friend of the channel. But anyways, let's put some full horsepower 357 through this and show you guys what it's like. Man, it's got some kick to it. And one thing you can do, turn it upside down, dump it, hold it without pointing it at your own face with your fingers through. Let me grab some more ammo. Oh. And load it back up. Like that. And let's do some single action shooting. So, the single action, totally a glass rod. Bring it back, and absolutely a glass rod. Hand through, up, and dump. And I always have one that gets stuck. That's it. Colt Python. Let me bring you in so you guys can see it a little closer. Fingers through with it open. Rounds go in, and let gravity help you. It's a little awkward me doing this on camera because it's it's a little weird trying to do this sideways. Rounds go in, close it up. All right, you ready for this beauty? Let's do this. Whoa. Absolute wonderful gun. Fingers through, tip it up, use the ejectant, and you're good to go for another 6. Learning to speed load these is always fun, but there you go. Check that out. So, there you go. That is the venerable, wonderful, amazing revolver that is the Dirty Now Colt Python. So, what are my concerns with the new Colt Pythons? Well, one, something that people haven't really said anything about, but if you notice, they brought out the new Colt in stainless steel, which makes sense. Stainless is a really great material. It's easier to clean. I think a little bit easier to clean than blued. It just doesn't quite have the character of bluing. Why do I think they brought out the stainless gun first? Simply because I don't think they can reproduce this these days. I really don't think they have the capability of doing a high polish and a wonderful deep bluing like they did on the old guns. They do have the capabilities of machining stainless steel and polishing it to look pretty good, which is why the stainless is coming out first. I'd like to eat my words on that. I would really, really love to see a blued gun, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to reproduce the old style bluing. We'll see. Notice that all the other guns are stainless as well. Stainless is just easier to work with, I think, with modern machining. I doubt there's going to be as much hand fitting, which luckily with modern machining you don't really need as much, most likely. You don't need it to be perfectly hand-fitted and polished. And obviously this one isn't hand-fitted anymore because it doesn't fit perfectly, which is fine. Let's see, what else is a concern? Mimmed parts is a big concern. And anybody that tells you different is lying to you. You cannot, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be controversial, you can't hone a mimmed trigger and sear as well as you can stock steel like on this. It just doesn't work as well. It's pretty good. Mim is pretty good, but for $1,500, I don't want to see any mim in that Python. For that price point, you can, honestly, for that price point, you can get a 686, send it to Smith & Wesson Custom Shop and have them overhaul it and do a trigger job and have it come out amazing for the same price. So, no mimmed parts, Colt. If you show mimmed parts on any of the internals in that Python, I'm going to be very disappointed. For that price, I expect a very high-end trigger. I don't think you guys should be sending it out with a factory-honed trigger. I think it could handle a little bit of polishing by hand. Everything else, though, otherwise I'm excited. When I have the money, I'll probably pick up I don't know, I might pick up a Rick Grimes gun because they're bringing out the 6-inch again. So I might pick up a stainless 6-inch gun just to add it to the collection to say I have one of both and we can compare it. But anyways, there you go. This is the Colt Python. Listen to my rant. I'm glad you guys are joining me on this crazy adventure. If you guys like gun content, machinery content, anything like that, subscribe to my channel. BabyfaceP.com will take you to my Facebook. Baby_faceP is Instagram. It's all in the description. It's always in the description. But stick with me. We got more content coming out. There's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pike from SHOT Show in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to do as much coverage as I can. A lot of it is just going to be talking, and unfortunately I don't have the money this year to travel to SHOT. So I might just do some talking and my thoughts on guns with some videos. We'll see as time comes. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one.